Okay. All right. So yeah, so if you're starting with your service codes, again, you would just come down here and hit add, and then this will bring up the service code. Again, you want, if whatever the highest digits are, say we use 001 here, I'm going to go ahead and just type in a new service code. So we don't have a 500, and then you give it a description. I'm going to just call this a yearly inspection. Okay, and now that we have a category field here, and this is nice because if you do any reports and you want to do a search on a group of service codes, like maybe all your PMs, you want to see all of your PMs, you can say category equals PMs, and it'll give you all your PMAs, your PMBs, it'll give everything. And then give you that kind of information. So if you can categorize that, I'd strongly recommend it, and it'll help you in your reporting. And the way you add things to this list, you just basically type in whatever category you want. So let's say if I call this maybe an axle, we'll say it was an axle category. And if I hit the tab key on my keyboard, okay, I'm going to hit the tab key now. It's going to say, are you sure you want to create a new PM category called axle? And I'm going to hit OK. Now you'll notice that the axle is part of the list here now. Okay, so that's how that works. And this one is actually a PM, so I'm going to select PM. If you have an accounting system and you do want to ever export your data to that accounting system, you can put in a GL account number here, and then that will automatically fill fill the field with that account number whenever you do any work orders. Now, since this is a PM, we have this little checkbox here that says PM service code, and if I check that, it's going to give me these interval boxes. Okay, so here's where I would specify the intervals that I want to be reminded between the PMs. Now, since this is a yearly inspection, I'm going to put it at 365 days. Now, since it's just based on a yearly inspection, I'm not going to put anything for the mileage or the hours.
Right.
So I'm going to leave those blank. But if I did want to say maybe have a inspection here at like 15,000 miles or something like that, what it would take which one comes first is the one that would appear. Okay, so if the days came first, that would appear, and if the mileage, if say maybe after 6 months, if it hit 15,000 miles, then it would warn us that this is due. But if we just want to do years, we put 0 here, and also for the meter too, if we have an hours or we track hours, we would put that at 0. Now there's also a really nice feature that we have. It's called a one-time schedule, and the one-time schedule is really great for recalls, or if you want to do a campaign, like maybe you want to put decals on all of your trucks. And so you can create a service code called decals, and then you can click this checkbox that it's a one-time service. And what it'll do is it will, if you put that service code in your PM schedule, it'll put a warning that needs to be done on your PM schedule. But instead of, once you do the work, it will not show up again. So it's a one-time schedule. It's not going to warn you in the future to do it over again.
Right.
So that's what that checkbox is there for. Okay.
Yep. All right. Let's move on.
Okay. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and save this here, and it'll put it as a yearly inspection. Now, there's in our I'm gonna go back, and you guys all understand this. So we got 365 days here, and it's service code 500. Now I've got a PMA here that I do every 90 days or 5,000 miles, and I don't do anything with hours. I'm gonna go into that one, and notice we've got the PM checked, and it's 90 days or 5,000 miles. Any notes I put in here is automatically, when I select this service code, if I put anything here, it's going to show up on the work order when I put it here. Now we have a complaint, cause, and correction, the 3 C's that right here that you could put. But you could put whatever you want in here. So if you want to pre-fill any notes or any line items or whatever you want to do under a PMA, you can put this here, and when you select that PMA, it'll put those notes on the work order for you. Okay.
Okay.
Now this next tab here is called Service Code Links. Now this is a really important feature. What this allows you to do is tell you if or inform you that if you do one service code and it includes another service code, it'll be taken care of. So it'll be automatically rescheduled that it was performed. All right. So a great example of this is a PMA and a PMB. A PMB most of the time will include a PMA. So in this example, we do the PMB every 180 days or 10,000 miles. And whenever we do a PMB, we also do a PMA. So I'm going to go into the PMB here, and I'm going to click on Service Code Links, and you'll notice that I've added the PMA here because whenever we do a PMB, we do a PMA.
Right.
So to do that, you just come down here and hit Add, and then select the service code that you want to use. So in this case, we selected PMA. This is the PMA, and we have a checkbox here that says Auto Add to Work Order. Now, if this is checked, when I select a PMB, it's not only going to put a PMB line item, but it's also going to put a PMA line item.
Right.
Okay, because it's in here. If it's unchecked, it's going to just put a PMB line item, but since it's in this list, it's going to reset the schedule for the PMA. All right. So to say that it was performed, and then it's going to reschedule the PMA without putting it in the list.
Right.
All right. Does that make sense?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, great. All right. So that's that.
Let's
we
move
also
on to how do we create work orders. This is what we need to learn is work orders and PM scheduling and things like that.
Yeah, well, this is all part of it. And I'm gonna get into this setup here and the intervals, and I'm gonna show you how the PM schedule, how we set up the PM schedule from here. The other thing is we have this document links. This is for, and I'll show you when we do the work order how you can retrieve these PDF documents from your when you're in the work order, if you want to reference any of these documents. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So now over on the when you have all your service codes entered, you'd come down here for this PM group setup. Okay, and this is how you set up your service codes. So when you click on PM group setup, you're going to see that you're going to be blank, but I've got some that are set up here. To add a new one, to add a new PM group, and this, if you can kind of think in your head, this would be almost like a maintenance schedule for a vehicle manufacturer, for example. What type of vehicles do you guys usually run?
We've got dump truck. So let's go with Mack dump truck. But let's hold on a minute. Our mechanic just stepped out, and this is
what he needs to see. Okay. All right.
We're doing this for him.
Okay. So you got a Mack dump truck?
Yeah. Let's use that as a
okay
idea.
Do you want me to wait for him to get back, or should I just go ahead and you can see the video, I guess, later if you need to reference it?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Add, and we're going to call this group name Mack Dump. All right. Now, I talked to you before about a campaign. You can do a one-time PM reminder for each service code in the group. if you check this, you can kind of say when the campaign started and when you expect to be completed. But we're not going to do that right now. You can put in some notes here if you want to put some detailed information about this the schedule that you're creating. You can. So what we're going to do next is under Mac Dump Truck, we're going to click on service codes, and here we're going to select from our service code list what service codes we want to use for the Mac Dump Truck. So in this case, why don't we do we'll do a semi-annual and an annual and a biannual inspection. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to go here and I'm going to double click on each checkbox. And so these three will be included in our Mac Dump Truck. Okay, so we've done that. Everything's good. And now, then, if we click on vehicles, here is a list of all the vehicles that we want to include in that Mac Dump Truck. So if we could find the Mac. We would look and look for all our Mac dump trucks. I don't know if I have any Macs. It doesn't look like I have any Macs in here. Well, we'll say that a Mac is a Chevy. Okay, so I'm gonna sort by make here, and these are all my Macs. I'm gonna include all these Chevys because they have the same schedule as a Mac. All right. Okay, so I click on all those vehicles, and then I'm really kind of done now. But if I click on PM schedules, what it's going to do, it's going to show me what I'm actually. These are all the PM schedules that that have been created already. So I can kind of go and see these. But once I click OK here, it's going to create a PM schedule with those service codes for all these vehicles. So let's go ahead and click OK. And notice that it created our Mac dump truck. Okay. If I click on vehicles in the group, you'll see that for that Mac dump truck, it'll go in and list them all that are checked. See, these are all checked. So those are the ones that are included in that group. So if I go in and let me just get the vehicle. I'll find it from my vehicles. So basically what I did here is I created a PM schedule for those vehicles that I selected, and it's under the Mac dump truck group.
Right.
So if I click on my vehicle list now, and if I go into sort by make, see if I can pull up my Chevys. Go about. Here we go. Here are all my Chevys. Now, if I highlight the Chevy and I click on my PM schedule, these are the three that were added. Okay, and here's the date that they were added. Now, I already had a PM schedule assigned, a previous PM schedule assigned to this. So keep in mind, whenever I add that a new one, it's going to add to the existing schedule.
Right. So where do I see? So I put that in. I've got. Let's break this down. So I've got 4 Mac dump trucks, and I set up a PM schedule for those Mac dump trucks to be every 30 days. So where is the alert that tells me it's been 30 days, you need to do this, or it's been 2,000 miles, you need to do this, or 40 hours? Where's the alert for that?
Good question. We have a reminders button up here. You see this button? When you click on the reminders button, there's a PM due tab. Okay, and this is going to give you a list of all the PMs that are due on your vehicles, and it's sorted here by vehicle number or vehicle code.
So that's where I can find PMs due, reported problems. Okay, cool.
Yes, this is one place. This is kind of like your snapshot of all the things that you need to that are coming due. All right. Now, we have a couple options here of how we can display this information. Notice that if it's red, it means it's past due. Okay.
Right.
So, and if it's orange, that means that it's coming due.
Okay.
Okay. And we set the intervals up here of how many days or how many miles or hours we want to be warned ahead of time when it comes due, okay? Because it doesn't do us any good if it warns us when it's past due, right, or due.
Right.
We want to be warned ahead of time so we can schedule it in, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to go up to, if you want to change these to whatever you want, if you go up to File and click on Settings, we have this Reminder Intervals setting here, and here's where you can say days to remind before PM due. So you can change this to whatever you want. If you want to do 20 days or whatever you feel is good. And then down here, this is when your PMs for mileage, and then this one is due for your meter 2 for your hours. So you can change that to whatever you want. Okay, and that's under the